Hey, good morning. Amanda here. I am popping on today because I received a question from a challenger, and I thought that instead of just making the video for my specific group, I would share it here because it seems to be a question that comes up so much. Actually, a two-part question. So one, how do you handle the sweet cravings? And two, how to stay on plan, or how to continue working towards your weight loss goals when out to eat. These are definitely big issues that come up all the time, and I understand these are things we face on a daily basis. So I'm going to address them with a few things that I have learned over the past few years that have helped me, and hopefully you'll be able to find at least one tip within the 4 or 5 that I'm about to share that you can implement even starting as soon as this weekend. So sweet cravings, guys. I know you see how I eat now and you think, oh, it's so easy for her to eat healthy and she must never have cravings. I was the biggest sweet eater ever. I had a major issue with sweets. They could not be anywhere near me, like within arm's reach or within the house, and I was eating it. And I have to be completely honest with you right now. I have a can of whipped cream in my refrigerator that I bought yesterday for Brock's birthday party on Wednesday, and it is calling my name. So I am a big sweet eater, but I've learned a few things that have helped. The first thing that has helped me a ton was getting started on Shakeology. I know you're thinking, oh, if you haven't tried Shakeology before, you're probably thinking, oh, that's just another meal replacement. That's just another protein shake. Guys, Shakeology is so much more than just another meal replacement or protein shake. First of all, it's not a protein shake at all. It is packed with superfoods that have helped with nutrient deficiencies that I was experiencing that were causing me to crave the sweet foods. So that is something that I've stuck to every day. I started noticing a decrease in my sugar cravings after drinking it for 6 days consistently. And the only time I have missed in almost 4 years was when I was pregnant with Addie in that first trimester and I was too sick to drink or eat anything. And at that time, I actually found that if I switched over to the strawberry flavor, it helped me a little bit, but that was one time in my life when I just could not eat or drink anything. Other than that, I drank it through the rest of my entire pregnancy with her, all while nursing, all through that, and my sugar cravings have only continued to decrease. So I stand behind that 100%. I want to share that with you because that was the first thing that I ever found that helped me decrease those cravings. The next thing I want to bring up is out of sight, out of mind. If you don't buy it, it cannot tempt you. You cannot just grab it, especially if you have little ones at home. Like, are you just going to pile up the little ones just to go to the store to grab like a candy bar or something like that? I mean, maybe if you're looking forward to an outing with kids, but I'd personally rather stay in my house or take them out in our own backyard than try to get them out of the house and in public somewhere. So for me, out of sight, out of mind. If you have to buy it because your husband needs it or your kids need it, can you keep it in a separate cabinet where you don't typically go, where they know to look and you don't go in there, or you know that it's completely off limits to you? Or something I do is, and I know I did the talk about gluten-free yesterday, I try to buy things that maybe do contain gluten. So I know that I can't eat them, but they're a special treat for the kids or for Frank when they want them. But for the most part, even though we do keep some snacky foods in the house, I try to very much limit them. When I do buy them, I also try to either package them out immediately into certain portion sizes or buy the prepackaged bag so that if I do get my hands on something maybe I shouldn't be eating, it's okay because I'm just eating that specific bag instead of eating out the whole big bag and going and going and going. My third tip for you when it comes to sweet cravings or cravings in general is to stop and recognize before you reach for something. Stop and recognize, are you about to eat that out of habit? Are you about to eat it because you're feeling emotional about something? Or are you genuinely hungry? And if you're genuinely hungry, what could you choose to eat before you give in to that craving? Could you grab a piece of fruit? Would that help with the sweet craving? Could you grab your shake at that time? Could you prepare a little meal for yourself? first. And then set a timer from the time you finish that meal, set a timer for 15, 20 minutes and see, is the craving still there? If it is, then maybe you indulge in a little bite of it, or maybe you identify again what's going on. Could you take a walk? Could you drink more water? Could you chew on a piece of gum? I know that's really big for me after dinner time. If I'm starting to crave something sweet, I pop a piece of gum in my mouth while I'm cleaning up the kitchen, and by the time I'm done cleaning up the kitchen, the craving is gone. So something else to keep in mind. Still have this terrible cough. All right, tip number 4. Pick and choose. So this one is more so about when you're going out to eat and you're trying to stick to your goals and stay on plan. So you want to pick and choose. I always say either get something from the bread basket, the appetizer, the chips, alcohol, or dessert. And when I'm saying this, I'm not talking like drinking 6 drinks. I'm not talking about eating half a loaf of bread. I'm not talking about eating a giant piece of cake yourself. I'm just saying make a choice. Are you going to have a glass or 2 of wine? Or are you going to eat from the chips and salsa that are on the table? Are you going to have a little cup of ice cream? Or are you going to have the mozzarella sticks? So I know I'm not going to tell you ever to give up any of your favorites, but pick and choose. Do you have to have it all plus a meal? Probably not. Something else that really helps is if everybody else is getting an appetizer and you find that your tummy's rumbling and you just can't wait for your meal to come out, that you know that you want that glass of wine or you want that piece of dessert, choose, focus on having vegetables most. So grab a green salad with dressing on the side and dip a little bit. Anybody has a problem or ask the question as to why you're eating a salad, ask them why they're not filling their bodies with healthier foods, okay? It doesn't have to be a secret. It doesn't have to be a surprise. You're taking care of your body, and that is what's most important. It's nobody else's business what or why you're doing it. Don't give in to their temptations and their fears and their insecurities. Focus on you and your goals and moving forward. Also, when it is time to choose off the menu what you're going to eat, choose something that's grilled or steamed where possible. Avoid things like fried or breaded or, saucy, whatever it may be. And do yourself a favor. If you know where you're going for dinner, look up the menu ahead of time and pick 2 or 3 options that sound really good so you don't get sucked in once you're finally there. All right. Next tip that goes along with that as well is to just drink water, and lots of it, because water is going to help us not only feel fuller longer, but it's going to help flush out our system. It's going to help us take the focus off of the cravings and kind of cleanse your palate a little bit. And my final tip for today, have grace with yourself. If you do enjoy a treat, or if you plan to later in the day, don't let that indulgence ruin the rest of your day. I know a lot of people get into that all or nothing mentality, and it's like, well, I'm going to have a piece of cake tonight with dinner, so I might as well just have French toast for breakfast and tacos for lunch, and maybe I'll just snack on some pretzels and chips while we're waiting to go to dinner. Don't do that to yourself. Eat normally the rest of the day, or if your indulgence is at breakfast, so you go to breakfast and you decide to have a stack of chocolate chip pancakes. Move on the rest of the day. Eat some lean protein, some vegetables, and give yourself the fuel you need to keep going. Know that it is okay and that we are human and we have a choice. We are extremely lucky to have that choice. But as I always ask you, are the choices you're making taking you closer to your goals or farther away from them? So keep that in mind as you move through this day, as you move through this weekend and into next week. What is it that you want to achieve? And are the choices you're making throughout the day getting you closer to those goals or taking you farther away? All right, guys, just a reminder that we have our next group starting on Monday for Prep Week. So if you are interested in more consistent tips like this, if you are interested in daily motivation, if you are interested in one-on-one support from myself as a coach and from the ladies in our challenge group, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I look forward to talking to you. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend. I will talk to you soon.